Live from PCT Studios in Pacifica, California, please join us in honoring some outstanding members of our community during this year's PCT Honors.
Hey everybody, how we doing? Folks, I want to thank you and I want to welcome you to PCT Honors. My name is Marty Anaya and I represent Pacific Coast Television. And for those of you that don't know, Pacific Coast Television is the world's longest running PEG Center, Public Education and Government Media Center, also known as a Community Media Center. Can we give it up for PCT, would you mind? Terribly. Now look, it's not me or anybody in here that you're applauding. You're applauding yourselves because the fact of the matter is that PCT, for the first many years, was all community driven, even all the way to what you would call the management. You know, we have professional management now. I put a little, asterisk around professional, but you know, the point is that now it runs like a nonprofit corporation. But until 1977, from the mid 60s to 1977, it was all community volunteer driven. And the truth is that even to this day, it's community volunteer driven. So when you're giving it up for PCT, you're really applauding yourselves because it's you guys that make it happen. So one more time, if you don't mind. So tonight is a program that we call PCT Honors, and that is something that we've been doing for about the past 18 years now. The idea being to recognize people in our community who have done exactly that. But not only for the station have they done these wonderful, wonderful, amazing things, public, education, and government, all the areas that bring a community together, but they've been doing it out in the community, right? For all different types of organizations, for the local body politic, for you name it, for all the different folks who come together to make a community what it is. Part of that, of course, is something that we want to reflect here at PCT. So when we do things like all the different things from city council meetings to the school board, to all the different festivals like Fog Festival, on and on, the idea really is to show the community that you do have a voice and that you do have a reflection, and then also to record that history. Very importantly, to record that history. So when you think about, and I know some of you are very shy, and I had to kind of do a little arm twisting for some of you to be in here tonight, because I know that you're thinking, well, gee, I'm just this little part of it. But really, that's what it takes, right? It takes a village, and that's what we're here to reflect, and that's why we're here to celebrate. And it's not just a celebration of you as an individual, but about who you represent and the things that you represent and how that comes together to formulate a community. To kind of give you that little history a little bit more, we're going to run out to a little bit of a video that was put together that kind of, I think, hopefully kind of gives a little visual to what I'm talking about. Hit it, Jason.
It may be hard to believe, but Pacific Coast Television has been serving the coastside since 1968.
In Pacifica, it turned out, there was in fact a TV class at Oceana High School. And what wound up happening from there was this gal that was working with them said, hey, let's get our own little studio here in Pacifica. Studio 70 then became really the first local cable station here in town, becoming one of the first, if not the first, cable station in the country.
So Rick Miller is going to get a chance to kick Terranova into a good shot here. Now if he gets a good punt off, he can give the pressure on Oceana.
Broadcasting with heavy, old black and white cameras, PCT covered the Pacifica oil spill and won an Emmy in 1972. Amazingly, the oldest person on the crew was only 15.
There was a giddy freedom about the place. So anything that we thought was interesting and fun and colorful or new, we just covered it.
By the 1990s, PCT had become a destination site for interns and broadcast students from across the Bay Area. and saw its schedule filled with imaginative, award-winning shows and local government coverage.
Very proud of our Channel 26.
People at Channel 26 invited me down to work on the auction, and I had a blast, and hopefully we raised a little bit of money for Channel 26.
PCT is a team effort, working with the cameras and working with the equipment. Every time I come, I never know what I'm going to work on, but I always enjoy myself.
This is a lot of fun. It's a learning environment. It's a laboratory where you get to test new ideas, see what works and see what doesn't work. And when you work on other people's productions, you get an idea of what will work on your production.
In 2011, PCT expanded its reach down the coastside to bring programming to Half Moon Bay, Moss Beach, and a dozen other cities as far south as Pescadero. PCT provides coverage of the coastside's many political meetings and major events, such as the Pumpkin Festival, and programs 2 cable channels, one on either side of Devil's Slide. PCT recently completed an expansion program into HD streaming online, and it has built a vast archive of on-demand programming, available on any screen, on any device, at any time. Pacific Coast Television is the gold standard in community media programming.
Wow. So, as you can see, a long history. 15 years old was the oldest cast member or crew member of that very first Emmy-winning program that we had. Can we give it up for that? That was... And again, that's just what I'm talking about. By the way, if you are watching at home right now and you are thinking to yourself, gee, I wish there was somebody that could watch this who doesn't live on the coast side, who doesn't live in Half Moon Bay or Pacifica or here on the coast side anymore. Well, guess what? They can watch. Just go to pacificcoast.tv. So tell them. If you're watching on cable or if you're watching and you want somebody else to tune in, tell them. And they'll have that available to them as well, because we do get a lot of expats and folks that have gone far-flung. They're living in Europe, or they're just not around, and but they want to watch too, and they can. So by all means. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the honors right now, and as we go, we'll talk a little bit more about what the organization has done and what we're hopefully going to continue to do for the next 45 years, right? With your support. But again, it's the people that make it happen. And this next lady that I want to introduce, here's what happened. When we started talking about this year's honors and what we wanted that to represent, the thing that jumped at us was COVID, right? I mean, look, we've all lived through it. We all know. I'm not gonna bloviate about what we all had to endure, but we know we literally lost a board member to COVID. So this thing has touched all of us, and I don't think there's anybody that I can point to. There's a family I can point to, including the PCT family, that hasn't lost people to this or hasn't dealt with it. And none more so than the first responders, the nurses, the doctors, the first responders, the people who are on the front line. So the thing that came up, and Cheryl Amateur was the one that brought it up, our wonderful board member in the back. Hi, Cheryl. And she said, Marty, we got to do something to recognize the first responders. And so this kind of conversation developed, and we talked a lot about all the different folks, police, fire, all the different folks that were strained. This organization was strained during COVID to provide new services and do new things in a new way. In our case, it was trying to come up with this crazy new hybrid world that we're all living in, so that people could still participate in their local government. But again, there was nobody more so on the front line than the nurses. And those people who work when somebody comes in and for not even thinking about themselves in any way, shape, or form, but just tending to that patient, even though they know that patient is coming in with a horrible respiratory ailment that could infect them, right? So with that, I want to introduce our first honoree via video. This is this wonderful lady who you're about to meet. Check it out.
Mary Ann Nihart represents all of the Pacificans that were nurses in San Francisco by her role of the Associate Director for Patient Care Services Veteran Affairs. As a current Pacifica resident, Nihart worked immensely during the COVID-19 lockdown, and during this time, she was selected as the Emergency Incident Commander for the San Francisco veterans. Her job during the 2 years of the pandemic was managing crisis, coordinating activities for veterans, had a team of nurses that went to the community to get the homeless vaccines, and reorganized the hospital to an organized COVID unit. In addition, Nihart was on the City Council of Pacifica for 8 years and was a former mayor. Nihart has more involvements, such as scheduling TSA in San Francisco, working in Homeland Security, lining up the parade and the annual Fog Fest for the past 16 years, working in the first Parcel Pass for the Pacifica School District in 2008, and raising $67,000 in a volunteered fundraiser that will be given to Pacifica Education. With her being very involved in helping Pacificans during the pandemic, and in many additional ways to serve her city, PCT is very eager to honor Mary Ann Nihart and her marvelous commitments to the coastside.
Now check it out. We've actually honored Mary Ann once before, but not in this capacity. So can we give it up for Mary Ann Nihart, please? Hi.
Thank you.
I'm going to give you this, but before I do, would you do me a favor and just say a few words for us?
I am. I want to make sure that people know that I only agreed to accept this on behalf of all of the nurses, all of the doctors, all of the first responders that live in Pacifica. 2020 started out a normal year, didn't it? Yeah. And then in March, our whole life turned upside down. We had to open new units. We had to learn to provide swab kits for a bacteria. We didn't even understand that it was, we knew it was a virus, but we didn't know how to test for it. We learned so much. And the nurses constantly stepped forward. What I shared with you were pictures from some of our teams that provided services in the community. You're going to hear from Mary Ellen Carroll later, who's, you'll hear about her, but I would work with her about actually moving forward on going into community living situations and vaccinating our veterans. We had nurses that went into the field and did all kinds of home care during this time, as well as working on new units that they never knew anything about. We've learned a lot about care. We've learned about community. It was my privilege to serve, although it's not elected. It was kind of appointed as incident commander for this because we did a full FEMA rollout, and it ran for 2 years. So it has been, while people were doing lockdown and other things, those folks I just mentioned, and you all know who you are. I can't even begin to name all the nurses I know in Pacifica. But I do have one here who has taken my old position since I retired after this, and that's Terry Sharp, who's now the Associate Director. Thank you so much for this honor. Such esteemed colleagues that I'm sharing this with, and I want to make sure that people in Pacifica know how grateful we are. Thank you.
Thanks, Marty. Let me get one more hug from you. Here, take that with you.
Okay. Thanks.
And as I'd mentioned off camera, we have proclamations from State Senator Josh Becker, Assemblyman Berman, and of course Anna Eshoo's office, and that just really, really means a lot. So thank you to all three of those wonderful, wonderful public servants for recognizing you all. And what a wonderful job you guys are doing. And yes, as she's right, we do have another fellow honoree who is representing the nurses in San Mateo County in just a bit. Right now, what I want to do is I want to talk to you a little bit about a gentleman named Bruce Latimer. Okay. Now, if you don't know who Bruce Latimer is, we're going to show you a little video. Bruce couldn't make it here tonight because he is not well. But he's put his heart and soul into this community, and he just celebrated his 1000th episode of what has been the longest running program of its type in the United States. And basically what he does is a musical variety show, longer than even the musical variety shows that we know, the Burt Sugarmans and all those folks. But check this out, and let's learn about this wonderful, wonderful guy.
Multi-talented figure and television host Bruce Latimer has been a staple of the PCT community for over 30 years. In February of 1989, Bruce started his now beloved and celebrated musical variety program, The Bruce Latimer Show. Shot in the PCT studio, the show is now the longest-running musical variety show in America. The program features interviews with artists, musicians, writers, and other creative individuals who contribute to the culture of Pacifica and the wider Bay Area. Bruce discusses the journey and inspirations behind the featured guests, offering viewers insights into their creative processes and experiences. A musician himself, Bruce is known for the quirky and charismatic energy that he brings to his show. The program is fully volunteer-run and has gained a dedicated audience of Bay Area viewers. Just this July, Bruce and the team reached their 1000th and final episode of the program. The Bruce Latimer Show has provided a platform for local artists to showcase their talent and celebrate the diverse musical creativity found in the region. The Bruce Latimer Show has been a gift to music and the local community. Pacific Coast Television and the Bay Area at large has been so lucky to have such a personality on the air. PCT is proud to honor Bruce Latimer.
Hey, Bruce. He's living up in Lake County now, in the bucolic style that is fitting. But Bruce, we love you, and we hope that you feeling stronger and better every single day. In the meantime, his departure has left a huge void here in our station. And remember what I told you, we're a public education and government access. Well, the first part of that is P for public access. So if you know somebody, or if you are somebody that you think could kind of help us out, fill some of that void, and kind of highlight and showcase some of the wonderful bands and musical groups that we have here on the coast side, get a hold of me, 650-355-8000, and let's have that conversation. One more time for Bruce, if you guys want. So this next honoree hails from Half Moon Bay, California, and as you know, since 2011, we've been serving the coast side all the way down to the border of Santa Cruz. And what I've come to learn is just the amazing, wonderful people who are doing so many wonderful things. None more so than this next honoree. So here by video, we'd like to introduce Belinda Hernandez Arriaga. Check this out.
Belinda Hernandez Arriaga has done extensive work with farm worker families and their children. In her community practice, her focus is on immigration trauma, visas, asylum, and working with refugee children of San Mateo County. She is the founder and chief executive director of Ayudando Latinos a Sonar, otherwise known as ALAS, a Latino cultural arts education and social justice program dedicated to working with rural youth and families living on the coastside. She is a licensed clinical social worker registered with the California Board of Behavioral Sciences and was named to the San Mateo County Women's Hall of Fame. Her research focuses on cultural interventions to address trauma as well as farm worker mental health, and her main focus is mental health in the Latino community. When the recent mass shooting occurred in Half Moon Bay, Belinda spearheaded an effort to aid the families touched by this tragedy. Additionally, she led efforts to inform the entire community about the day-to-day struggles of migrant workers and their families. As a longtime member of the Bay Area Border Relief, she strives to make the world a better place. It is with great pleasure that we announce Belinda Hernandez Arriaga as a 2023 PCT honoree.
And now here to accept on Belinda's behalf is a young gentleman who actually grew up in this program, who actually benefited from the program. Diego Ryan Lopez, would you come up here real quick?
First of all, I just want to start off by saying how much of an honor it is to be here in front of you guys to accept this award. Belinda may have not been here today, but I'm just proud I do some part to carry this legacy. Growing up in Alas, I was exposed to the stories of farm workers in the community. It introduced me to concepts such as privilege, culture, and the arts. I remember when I first started, I must have been around 8 years old. This was back when we first started as like a youth mariachi group. From there, I went on to do ballet folklorico, and then I became an intern once I entered high school, and from there, I ended up attending the University of San Francisco as a third-year politics major. And really what it's taught me is just the power that we have as individuals to instill change within the community. And being mentored by Belinda growing up, it's taught me the beauty of just not only Latino culture, but the unity. When the shooting happened in Half Moon Bay, I realized how powerful the sense of community was in Half Moon Bay, as well as how it was in the greater United States. We had people come down from all over providing support during our times of vulnerability, and that was something that was not only beautiful, but helped shape the way that I want to provide outreach to the community. Thank you.
Got a couple more goodies for you here.
Thank you.
One more time, please. So this next honoree is going to be introduced via video by a gentleman named Dennis Willis, who has been with our organization here since he was about 15 years old. He has a program called Sound Waves, and now he is a host, and by the way, #1 in his time slot on radio at 107.7 The Bone. So from a guy who started when he was a young guy, and now he's doing this for a living, check this out.
Hey everybody, Dennis Willis here, and thank you so much for watching PCT Honors and supporting Pacific Coast Television as you have for over 45 years. And as somebody who's been around for almost as long, I wanted to take a moment to discuss our friend Jane Northrop, whom we lost earlier this year. Jane was such a good friend to everybody. She was such a supporter of this station, and she cared about her community and cared about documenting her community in the most accurate and interesting ways. She was an award-winning writer for the Pacifica Tribune and an award-winning producer here at PCT. And last year on PCT Honors, we awarded her for all of her hard work and dedication. Unfortunately, we didn't realize it was going to be the last time we got to celebrate this amazing community with her. So, on Jane's behalf, we have created an award that we're going to do every year at PCT Honors, and this makes my heart very happy. It's a journalism award in her name, and it is meant to celebrate the writer or writers, in any case, that celebrate and document this incredible area that we call the Pacific Coast. And I can think of no better first recipient than a writer who, let's just say this, if you are lucky enough to have this person write about you, you may actually look up at some point and say, This can't be about me. There is no way I'm that cool. But you know what? Gene Bartlett is.
Gene Bartlett is a longtime journalist in Pacifica. Born in San Francisco, Jean comes from a family of huge readers. Her grandparents wrote for the San Francisco Chronicle in their early years, which led Jean to aspire to writing. Miss Bartlett started her career by writing music and lyrics for Bay Area bands and later as a journalist. Referred to as a Pacifica gem, she has written more than 2,300 features for the Pacifica Tribune in over 20 years. Additionally, she has published 2 books for the Holy Cross Catholic Cemetery, a children's book, and numerous stage plays. In 2022, she was given an award by the San Mateo County Board of Supervisors for her writing that connects the community and preserves local history. Since 2017, she has written in her website, Bartlett's Biographies. She also writes for private clients and media companies. Gene Bartlett believes every human being has a lot to teach, to engage, and to share. She says our stories connect all of us, past, present, and future. PCT is proud to recognize Gene Bartlett as a 2023 honoree.
Okay, so Jean Bartlett's a little under the weather. She didn't make it tonight. We were trying to get Sue Degree here, her really good friend, a close friend, and Sue's probably going to walk in just as soon as I'm done talking right now to accept on her behalf. But I just wanted to actually bring one more thing up to your attention. These little spots that you're seeing are being created by our interns, our fabulous interns. That one that you just saw was created by young Jasmine right here. Give it up for Jasmine, everybody. And she did the Belinda Hernandez Arriaga, and Amen Ryan did the Bruce Latimer, and the intro was done by Nate, which I don't see Nate right now. Maybe he's in the back, but let's give it up for all of our interns, right? And good point to mention that this is also a vocational training opportunity, 21st century skills that whether or not you're in television or radio, you can still utilize because that's the way the world is going right now. Has everybody ever noticed that lately in the last couple, 2-3 years? So once again, thank you so much to our wonderful interns. Let's see here. I think right now what I want to do is throw it out to a little bit of a break real quick and give you a chance to do a little, not 7th inning stretch, but we'll call it a 2nd inning stretch. Check this out. We'll be right back.
At PCT, we promote public access to electronic media. Our mission is to ensure public, educational, and governmental access for the community. Our team works daily because you are our main focus of why we serve our co-side. Please consider donating to PCT to show your love and support for our non-profit station.
PCT Honors is back, celebrating the people that make Pacifica great. These are the champions helping shape our community. Please join us on October 26th at 7 p.m. for an evening of gratitude and inspiration. We will be streaming live on channel 26 and 27 or at pacificcoast.tv. Don't miss this chance to honor those who uplift us all. See you soon at PCT Honors, live from the PCT studios.
Hey everybody, we're back. Hi there. So yeah. So if you want to. Okay, so this next honoree is for no other, if there's no other reason to honor her, is for the amazing way that she's treated her constituents over the years. First as a supervisor and working throughout the years, and now, of course, as your Congresswoman. She's just been very attentive. And so I got to tell a really quick anecdote about Anna, because I remember when they first opened up the Coast Side, Ray Mueller's office, right? He's your liaison to your county board of supervisors. He's our supervisor. And so I was doing this whole, hey, thank you, Ray, for doing this and bringing it to the Coast Side. And Anna said, you know, not for nothing, but we did that. We did that way back in the day, so this is nothing new. So thank you, Anna, for doing that, for being so wonderful to your constituents. Watch this. We'll be right back.
Born in Connecticut, yet a longtime Californian, Anna Eshoo is a trailblazer for women, immigrants, and the LGBTQ community, and continuously advocates for accessible healthcare, the well-being of the environment, and the energy we run on. Being an involved San Mateo County representative member, Representative Eshoo began her career as chairwoman from 1978 through 1982. Representative Eshoo became a San Mateo County board member for 10 years and served as board president in 1986. Representative Eshoo was the first woman to chair the Health Subcommittee, making a difference for the better health of Americans, creating over 60 bills that became laws prioritizing clean energy and improving our healthcare system. Anna Eshoo harps on humankind and preserves the welfare and prosperity of our community. Balancing the responsibilities of being an excellent representative, Anna Eshoo is also a devoted grandmother, aunt, and mother, putting as much care and compassion into her family as well as her work. Representative Eshoo is the face of innovation and humanity, and PCT is absolutely honored to praise her excellence and time dedicated to the Coast Side.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for this wonderful honor. I'd also like to congratulate the other very deserving awardees. It means so much to be recognized by Pacific Coast TV. As you may know, the congressional district lines changed in the beginning of this year, and as a result, I'm again representing the Coast Side. I've represented Half Moon Bay in the past and parts of the coast before, but this is the very first time that Pacifica is in my district, and how wonderful that it is. Over the last 10 months, it's been wonderful to spend time in the community, and I'm so grateful for the genuinely warm welcome I've received from so many. As a longtime supporter of community television, I believe it's a critical part of our society, giving voice to nonprofits, artists, local governments, and community members who would otherwise struggle to be heard. I introduced the Protecting Community Television Act in multiple Congresses to ensure that public, educational, and government channels have the resources they need to keep people in the community informed. The amount and complexity of information on TV, on social media, on the internet, and add to that the rapid evolution of AI can be utterly overwhelming. I applaud Pacifica Coast TV and other public access channels for their services designed to create an informed and interconnected community. PCT offers San Mateo County residents great resources and technology trainings to become proficient in television, radio, and internet skills. We all know that knowledge is power. So thank you, PCT, for empowering our community. Have a wonderful event. Congratulations to the other honorees, and thank you for honoring my record. As I said, it means the world to me.
Also, I got to tell you, and not for nothing, Anna sponsored and co-authored a piece of legislation called the Saving Community Media Act. So can we give it up for that? That was Jared that did that one. So again, that was one of our interns, Jared, that did that. Thank you, Jared. So this next honoree spent many years being the superintendent of schools for right here in Pacifica. And this was suggested to us by our own Mike O'Neill as an honoree, and we just can't say enough thanks to Mike for this. Check it out.
Heather Olsen has been a great asset to school districts by being a leader for students in the community. She started in the San Mateo Foster City School District for 18 years, where she was a teacher, principal, and the Director of Curriculum and Instruction Assistant Superintendent. She also was a superintendent for the Pacifica School District for 5 years. In these important roles for the school and the community, Heather focused on making the goals of the school board happen, supervising principals and other district administrators, and running the school district. Heather says that during the pandemic, it was important to work together with principals, teachers, and district staff around plans for schools. Also, needing the support to transition back into an in-person learning environment. Heather also was a part of the facilities master plan, where they worked on managing the funds for the community. In addition, Heather took part in workforce housing, which is housing for teachers, and this was approved by the Pacifica City Council. With her incredible experiences representing the community in many different roles, PCT is beyond grateful to honor Heather Olsen and her wonderful actions for the coast-side.
All right. So we're going to try something kind of wild here. I'm not sure if it's going to work. But so Heather has since moved to Tennessee, where I think she's from. And, we miss her. But I think, do we have her via Zoom? Do we have her? Okay, I'm going to try to do this. Let's see if it works. Heather, are you there?
Okay, a little bit of a tape delay. So I'll just get started. Anyway, first of all, I am honored to be recognized by PCTV. I have a long list of people, and I won't keep you all night. But thank you to the Board of Trustees for their leadership and their hiring me. That time during the pandemic was like none other in the school district's history, and I'm just grateful for their support and their leadership. I'm grateful to all elected officials, both city council, school district board, local elected officials, because so rarely does anyone recognize the tireless work, especially during the pandemic, but during all times. I'm grateful for PCTV because we've always televised our meetings, but during the pandemic, we made all of our meetings on Zoom, broadcast on PCTV, and especially grateful for both Jason and Jordan that were regulars at our meetings. And if you want to talk about government access, PCTV really allowed us to do that. And feedback that we received is that both staff and families felt more connected to the work of the school board using Zoom and PCTV. So this recognition may be of me, but it's really truly of all Pacifica School District leaders, the cabinet administrators, district administrators, principals, the school district association leaders, PTOs, Pacifica Education Foundation, special education, all teachers and all Pacifica School District staff, and the families and students of Pacifica School District. So I am grateful that it is the recognition, but it really truly recognizes the work of all of us together. In Pacifica, there are so many people that go above and beyond. And, if I think about just Sue DeGree, Delia McGrath, Anita Reese, Mary Beer, Lynn Adams, I could name probably 20 other people that are just truly leaders in their community, and it's hard not to follow their lead in that way. So I'm so very grateful for the recognition. It was my honor and privilege to be superintendent for 5 years, and I'm very grateful for your recognition. I am in Nashville, Tennessee. I grew up in Michigan, but we moved last week to Nashville, Tennessee. So it's been my honor, and I really appreciate the recognition. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather, very much. And as you can see, that was live. Because if it was on tape, it would have been a little bit smoother. But I tell you what, I really do appreciate Heather. And I also want to say thank you to Mike O'Neill for suggesting her as an honoree. We appreciate you, Mike. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to try to throw it out to a little bit of a break right now. But before I do, just again to indicate to you all, and for all of you watching at home, you know what? PCT is your community media center. So if you're getting kind of a theme in here, you're kind of getting a vibe, then just remember that it does take all of us, and we can show you how to use the tools of communication to get your voice heard. And if you're representing an organization, or if you're representing a nonprofit, the only thing that we're not doing is trying to sell stuff, right? That's the only thing we're not doing. And even that, we have a caveat for, because very soon we're going to be doing our PCT Red Carpet TV auction. That'll be in December. And that is the one time of the year that we do say thank you to all the local businesses as well. They usually will donate an auction item that we auction off to the community, so it acts as, you know, a fundraiser for PCT, but it also acts as a wonderful way to put eyeballs on all these wonderful local businesses. So we're going to do a real quick little break. We're going to come right back with the next honoree. You can't miss this. Stay right there.
Pacific Coast Television provides a platform for community members to put their shows on TV. Let's take a look at some of the shows produced and aired on PCT throughout the years.
Welcome to the only live primetime musical variety show on the West Coast of the United States.
But she's talking, Lord above, with someone that she really loves. It takes rocks and gravel, make a solid roof.
I got some real good TV tonight.
You ready? This is Soundwaves TV.
Let's welcome Kathy Holly and Spotlight.
Welcome to Street Talk for Entrepreneurs, where we reveal what it really takes to build a successful business. Hi, I'm Brandon C. White, and this is Build a Business Success Secrets.
I had to do a special, I think I'm going to call this a season finale with my pal of pals. Mary Beer is in the house. How are you, Mary?
If you have an idea for a show and want to get your message out to the world, PCT can make it happen. For more information, please visit pacificcoast.tv and sign up to become a member. Let's make your show a reality.
Hey, pretty cool, friends. How you guys feeling? Feeling all right? Okay. So we had mentioned about the first responders and about the folks who really lay it on the line. And again, the honorees that we're honoring tonight in this category really do represent a great swath of people who are doing this. And I'm talking about mostly the nurses right now. So take a look at this video and we'll be right back.
Mary Ellen Carroll was appointed Executive Director of the San Francisco Department of Emergency Management, bringing 30 years of experience in local public service. Carroll oversees a department of more than 300 employees responsible for leading San Francisco in planning preparedness, communications, response, recovery for daily emergencies, large-scale citywide events, and major disasters. She began working for the city in 2005 at the Department of Public Health, where she led planning and coordination efforts for San Francisco's health systems. Carroll also served as the Director of Emergency Planning and Security for the San Francisco Public Utilities Commission for almost 8 years, where she led all security and emergency management operations. Being a woman in emergency management is not common. Because of this, Carroll focuses on mentoring others to make the field more diverse and values problem solving, relationship building, and finding creative solutions to manage complex emergency incidents most efficiently. With her great wealth of knowledge in DEM, PCT is very excited to honor Mary Ellen Carroll for her amazing dedication to the community.
And I'm delighted to introduce her right now, Mary Ellen Carroll. Give it up for her.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here. First of all, I want to thank my friend, my colleague, and really someone who's a mentor and a hero, which is Marianne Nihart. I met, again, she definitely deserves a second round and many more rounds. We met in 2008 during that whole measure. And, but my kids were little and in the school district, and Marianne showed up, and, all these crazy parents, and then Marianne, who, didn't have a kid in the school district, but gave so much of her time and talents, and that never ended to this day. So, of course, when it came time for the global pandemic, the apocalypse, as I like to call it sometimes, we were able to lean on each other again. And so my role was, I was appointed by Mayor London Breed, who's my boss, in 2018 to direct the Department of Emergency Management, which includes all emergency services, 911, we're the EMS regulator, and kind of regional homeland security. And so, 18 months after my appointment, we were in March of 2020. And San Francisco was one of the first, if not the first city, to really make the hard decisions to shut down, to follow the science and save lives. And as a result, San Francisco, and I believe this extends, the reason why the Bay Area did so well too, is literally per capita, less lives were lost to COVID in the Bay Area than anywhere else in this country, if not the world. And what that means is people are alive now. People's sons, daughters, parents, uncles, friends, because of the effort of many, of thousands, really. And I just want to say that I represent the city of San Francisco's efforts, but we crossed lines, just like, the VA is a federal entity. You and I worked together. Deirdre Martin, who was the mayor at the time, who's also a friend, called me. I sent her our templates for the first stay-at-home signs. I'm a surfer and a member of the surf club, Pedro Point Surf Club. We shared information. There are the people, and it is nurses and doctors and teachers, firefighters, police officers, 911 dispatchers, people that served you at Oceana Market, and all of the essential workers, all of them. They didn't stay home. They took the risk to come out and continue to serve our community. And so it for me has been the most humbling experience of my life to be part of this, to lead the effort that really I think helped the region, and really a privilege to be in that position at that time. I spend a lot of time in San Francisco, as you might imagine, but Pacifica is my home. It's where I raised my 2 children who went all through Pacifica Public Schools all the way to high school. They're both graduates of UC and San Francisco State colleges, and thankfully are no longer living with me in Pacifica because they're out living on their own. But during COVID, my son graduated from UC Santa Barbara in June of 2020, and my daughter was a freshman at Humboldt, and they came home to, guess where, to Pacifica. And I think that's the other thing I want to say is that, you know, we are so lucky to live in this beautiful community. And you saw, and that has not stopped, that people continue to come here. And sometimes that can feel burdensome to us who remember the old days when nobody knew what Pacifica was. But the truth is that I think that people found comfort and solace in nature and in the ocean and our beautiful views and our trails. And that is so valuable. You know, that's what life is about, you know, and that is the positive that we can say that came out of this, is that people came out of their homes and you know, the only place that they could go was outside, safe, out, you know, out of doors, and our community provided that for them. And, you know, I think that's a beautiful kind of silver lining of what we all went through. But I am so grateful for this community. I currently, in my job, I lead a lot of the efforts around our street condition issues in San Francisco, homelessness, take a lead on the opioid epidemic there. And it's hard, it's very hard work. And I get to come over that hill, as we all do, and sort of like have a sigh of relief and such a gratitude for the community here, for the ability to raise my children here, for the connections that we've had. And so I bridge that every single day between work, you know, sort of both of my hometowns in many ways, San Francisco and Pacifica. But this place is super special, and so it's just such an honor to be here. And thank you again, Marianne, and to all the honorees. It's just so representative of this special little funky, weird place that we live. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we can give you these. There we go. Thank you so very much. You bet. Yeah, give it up for her one more time if you don't mind. And for all the people that she's talking about. So this next honoree, I guess kind of really to a little bit of your point, Mary Ellen, is that this next honoree is a person who I think has for years fought to really make this place a safe place and to make this world a safe world. And before we actually introduce the honoree, I want to show you one of her works, a little video that we created because we were fortunate enough to be a part of this effort at fighting racism, and that this community has come together to support this idea that we are all one people. Take a look at this, and we'll be right back.
Breaking barriers and fostering understanding. Join us as we take a stand against racism. On October 5th, PCT took part in a community dialogue about the effects of racism with the help of our moderator, Nicole Anderson.
I welcome you and am honored to stand in this space as the moderator and facilitator of our community dialogue. Specifically, we are here to really come together in a safe space to talk about sometimes what can be very uncomfortable when we talk about the concept of racism and really all forms of oppression.
Our panel members shared powerful and important stories and helped guide the community dialogue.
From Pacifica School District are Kai Doggett, Laverne Villalobos. From Jefferson Union High School District comes Rosie Tejeda. They each bring their unique experience to the panel.
I want you to start your conversations first, okay? So that you all can really jump deep into it. Sound all right? All right. So I'm going to apologize now because when I tell you it's time to come back, you're going to be mad at me. Okay? But that just means you be thirsty to continue your conversations.
Help continue to support Pacific Coast Television as we continue to cover meaningful and educational content, and keep an eye out for coverage of this entire event here on Channel 26 and 27 or at pacificcoast.tv.
Delia McGrath has been a peace activist since 2003, where she began her involvement in Pacifica Peace People that began to flourish. In this community, their mission statement is to act locally for peace globally to do action, and this group decided to cultivate a culture of peace in Pacifica. Delia expresses how Pacifica Peace People was created because of the Iraq War, and wanted to express that sentiment in the community by hosting various activities, such as having speakers and social gatherings. Delia has accomplished a plethora of great successes by asking Pacifica to identify as a city for peace, gathering close to 500 names to sign on the Pacifica Tribute for the Peace ad, and dealt with racism as part of the peace motivation. Delia has additional involvement, such as supporting the local Pacifica social justice, being a member of the Pacifica Climate Committee, standing for 15 years in Women in Black, speaking at city council meetings, active in Pacifica Housing for All, and in the Pacifica School District while being a strong advocate for education. With all of her many ways of consistently being involved in the Coast Side, PCT is very fortunate and proud to honor Delia McGrath and her great contributions to the community.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Delia McGrath. While she's making her way up here, I know that she's going to tell you that it wasn't her, it was a bunch of people, and she's very, very shy and very, very humble. Hi, Delia.
Hi, Marty. Good to be here. In my old age, I can't do a spontaneous speech, so I prepared one. Thank you so much. I deeply appreciate the recognition that PCT is offering. Thank you. But I share the honor with Pacifica Peace People and hundreds of people with whom we have worked side by side for decades. For peace, for kindness, for racial and social justice, for uplifting our community to support those in need of housing, food security, and a life of dignity. Our purpose is to cultivate a culture of peace, acting locally for peace globally. With many others, we sponsored a community dialogue about the impact of racism. May we sustain a compassionate city where people of every background are welcomed and can thrive. I come here tonight with a heavy heart, a truly broken heart, amidst the untold suffering in Israel and Palestine. Hamas violence and the killing of over 1,400 Israelis must be confronted by calling for the immediate release of hostages and the cessation of rockets being fired. Since Israel began its retaliation in Gaza, over 7,500 people, 3,000 of them children, including members of my extended Palestinian family, have been killed. The people are crying out for a humanitarian pause, allowing for the entry of food, water, medicine, and fuel through the border with Egypt. I'm urging you and all the viewers of this program to contact President Biden, our senators and Congresspeople, to enact this life-saving response, reminding them that every human life is precious. I will close with an excerpt from the wisdom teachings on kindness and ethical life. May all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none, through anger or ill will, wish harm upon another. Even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child, so with a boundless heart one cherishes all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upward to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, freed from hatred and ill will. Thank you.
One more time, everybody. Delia McGrath. Got some more stuff there. Wow. That was moving. Thank you very much, Delia. Very much appreciate that. At this point, I'd like to show you a video. Now, we talked a little bit off camera here about this next lady, but I'm going to tell the story again because I'm just so grateful that we have this lady and her hubby and her fine friends on this planet, and certainly representing this coast side. But when we were, PCT was covering I don't know how many was it, 50 years it took them to do that tunnel that we call the Devil's Slide Tunnel, right? What are you laughing about? It was like 50 years, like literally. But when they finally got it done, we went to cover it. We had multiple cameras on it. And coming out of the tunnel were a procession of cars, and the very first car that I had the privilege to be able to film, there was actually one of our PCT cameramen filming me, so it was kind of like meta, we're all like taking video of each other, and it was Nancy Hall in the passenger seat, and in the driver's seat was none other than Neil Young of Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Sometimes Young, and of course of Neil Young and Crazy Horse fame. And I was just like blown away, but just gives you an indication of the kind of company this lady keeps and how much fun it must be to be Nancy Hall. But lest I wander too far, let's let the video do the talking.
Nancy Hall is not only an amazing artist and musician, but she's also one of the most talented people in Pacifica, period. A true child of the psychedelic era, she was influenced by all the free concerts she saw in Golden Gate Park growing up. She would watch local bands practice for hours and would go home singing into a hairbrush. As an adult, she met fellow musician Lee Parvin, and together they formed a band called the Curios. Her and her band have toured with the likes of Neil Young, Crazy Horse, and Taj Mahal. As an artist, she is equally as accomplished. She has won countless awards with her dark and playful style of assemblage art. Her art in particular comes from a childhood memory of toys stuffed inside a trunk at her grandmother's flat. In 1996, Nancy and other Bay Area artists had founded the Sanchez Art Center, a nonprofit organization dedicated to creating community through art. But whether it be an art piece or a song, each one of them were made with a story and purpose that can fill whole rooms or sit in your hand. We are beyond privileged to see that Nancy is still active in both music and art, and we at Pacific Coast Television are ecstatic to have Nancy Hall as one of our 2023 honorees. Thank you, Nancy, for everything you have done for our community.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to welcome Nancy Hall. Come on over here.
going to talk. I would say that my legacy here in Pacifica is getting in trouble and making the good kind of trouble, getting in the way of things that shouldn't happen. That happened a lot. I had to throw myself into the muck when they say, let's build a big thing on the top of the, and I'm like, hey, no, I don't think so. And I'm going to get 20,000 other people to come up here with me and say, I don't think so. And so time after time, there are so many things that saying yes to that beautiful things that have happened in our town. But I found myself most of the time trying to divert bad ideas. So I guess I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, we played a lot of music. We had so much fun. And even up until recently, I've been in bands, and I'm in my 60s now. So you can still rock at 60. Yeah, you still rock. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So I love Pacifica. I love my neighbors. Seeing my friends coming up here, and you get to feel like, you know what? I did some stuff. You know, we helped each other. We got up. We did some doing. So I'm very proud of my sisters and brothers and my beloved ones here in Pacifica, and I'm going to stick around. Yeah. Thank you.
Give this one to you. We've got a couple of other things here. There you go. There we go. Thank you so much. Give it up, please, if you would, one more time. You bet. One more time. Thank you so much. Okay, so right now we're going to throw it out to probably, I think, our last break of the evening. And this one is about our little survey that I was talking to some of you about prior to the show, because we do want you to fill out a survey. PCT's been here for 40 years. But let me tell you, there is no guarantee that we're going to be here another 40 years. By the way, I want to acknowledge Susan Getchell-Wallace, our brand new board member over there. Hi, Susan. Whose idea it was to honor you, by the way, Nancy? Yes, indeed. But again, you know, the idea that you have a community media is not set in stone. It's not on Mount Rushmore. I wish it were. But the thing is that it takes all of us. So watch this, and I'll come right back, talk to you a little bit more about this.
We want to know what you think. Please visit www.pacificcoast.tv to take this survey. We want to know your thoughts, and now is your chance to tell us. PCT is the longest running public access station and has had many accomplishments over the years thanks to viewers like you. As we get ready for a new contract negotiation with the city, we want to know your opinions. Take a moment to visit www.pacificcoast.tv to take this survey and help us continue to serve the community.
We at Pacific Coast Television welcome you to join us live on October 26th at 7 p.m. in commemorating members of the Coastside community at this year's PCT Honors. Led by our Executive Director, Martin Anaya, each year PCT celebrates the accomplishments of our esteemed honorees in service to our community. We're excited to bring you a ceremony honoring the best of the Coastside, as well as special music performances and more. On October 26th at 7 p.m., join us on Channel 26, Channel 27, or PacificCoast.tv in honoring the following people: Kelley Corten, Tony Corten, Mary Ann Nihart, Mary Ellen Carroll, Jean Bartlett, Belinda Hernandez Arriaga, Bruce Latimer, Anna Eshoo, Nancy Hall, Delia McGrath, and Heather Olsen. Once again, tune in live to Channel 26, Channel 27, or pacificcoast.tv to hear about what makes this year's Honorees of the Community so special.
Okay, everybody, how we doing? That spot was so meta. It was engaging you to watch something that you're actually at. That was totally cool. So these next two individuals, I believe, are our last honorees of the evening, and a fitting way, I think, to end this evening, because as we learn about each other and we learn about the Coast Side, we're learning about resources, we're learning about things that are available to us, not just PCT, but all the wonderful things that are out there in the community. So with this in mind, I'd like you to watch this video on our next honoree.
Kelley Corten is the founder of Pacifica's Makers Market. At 14, her mother sent her to Finland as an exchange student in order to experience the world, learn about different cultures, and appreciate them. At 19 years old, she proceeded to Wales, where she met her husband Tony at Trinity College. They sealed the deal 6 months later and were married. Mrs. Corten then arrived in the UK, began working in newspaper publishing, and was deemed the youngest publisher in the UK. As a child, Mrs. Corten was fascinated with sewing because it was hard to find clothes that fit her. She was also interested in fiber and therefore opened the Royal Bee Yarn Company in July of 2017. Kelley has succeeded in creating a safe place where people can come to share their conversations and be in an environment that is safe, inclusive, nurturing, and inviting. Her idea of making a business a community place is part of the reason why she created the Makers Market, where local artists, vendors, and makers can set up a table and distribute their products without paying any fees. Mrs. Corten believes in maintaining a safe space and also has helped donate to those in need by making the connection between items that are made and providing for others. For these reasons, PCT is proud to honor Kelley Corten.
All right, now here to help me welcome Kelley is our esteemed board member, Cheryl Amater.
That video wasn't long enough to even tell you everything this woman has accomplished. She launched PC Magazine, she launched advertising campaigns, but she's only just getting started. Right now, she's here in our community to launch us. Please put your hands together for one of the most fabulous, talented, warm-hearted, and inclusive people Pacifica has ever attracted. Kelley Corten.
Oh my gosh, that was really kind. Thank you so, so much. I firstly want to thank Cheryl for nominating me and the PCT board for honoring me. I also want to thank my mom. My mom is the biggest, kindest, warmest, supporting, loving mother anybody could possibly have. And she's more than just a pretty face. She also has a fabulous business mind, and she's very much behind the scenes. We talk about absolutely everything associated with the Royal Bee Yarn Company and all our dreams and hopes for it. I also want to thank my husband because, and he's going to be honored, he does the really heavy lifting, literally the heavy lifting for the yarn shop. And in addition to his day job, he helps me all the time. So I really appreciate my family. I've mentioned to a few people, including Cheryl, that I feel like a charlatan sort of standing up here when compared to the other honorees, because they have done something that's so incredibly giving of themselves. And when I opened up the Royal Bee Yarn Company, I did so because I wanted to create my own line of yarn and I wanted to have my own business. Community was something I was craving. I was working in the tech industry and I felt as though I was sleeping in Pacifica, but I wasn't actually part of this incredible community. And so when I decided to go for it and launch my own business, community was a really integral part of my plans. And I had community at the center of the concept of the business, but honestly, it was more of a selfish act than anything else, because I wanted to know the people that I lived near. I wanted to provide a safe space for LGBTQIA and BIPOC communities to craft, to get together and share a common love for fiber, so that we could sit and commune and knit and crochet, spin, weave, etc., anything to do with the fiber arts. When we moved into our new location in Palmetto, it was actually my mom. My mom paid a lot of money to put in the patio area, and we also did some community fundraising. And we thought, what a better way to honor all of the very incredibly talented people that we have at Pacifica. I mean, this is a really creative community, than to give them the opportunity to sell their products. So we launched the Makers Market, inviting local artists, makers, artisans to come and sell their products. And we're actually having a Makers Market this Saturday. So we don't charge for that, because this is about community. It's about supporting the makers that ultimately have supported me. I thought that I was doing such a nice thing by creating community, but ultimately it was the community that saw me through the pandemic. So I want to say thank you. Thank you to Pacifica. Thank you to all of the incredible, talented artists that have kind of kept me in business. And I did feel very undeserving. And then today, I had a really incredible thing happen, which was that a woman came in and she said, I want to let you know that your shop and your yarn is really special for me because it got me through my chemotherapy. I was able to knit a shawl, she told me, through all of her treatments. And she's cancer-free, but she says that she kind of misses the chemotherapy because it was that opportunity to play with the yarn, to make something beautiful, and to craft and have that quiet time. So I think sometimes you don't even realize the ripple effect that you can have just by doing something very small. So with that said, I humbly accept the honor. I'm really privileged to live here. I know how privileged I am to live here. And thank you to all the incredible, talented fiber artists that support me every day. Thank you.
Okay, now, wait a minute. I'm going to have you hang out with me because we have one more honoree tonight. And here by video to introduce is our wonderful Jason Francisco. Take it away.
Tony Corten is the vice principal at Sunset Ridge Elementary in Pacifica. Born and raised in Wales, his experience as a student himself was not very encouraging. He was very kind and sensitive growing up and got bullied for being so. His family was shocked when he decided to develop a career in education. Tony wanted to make a difference in the lives of other students by providing them with positive school experiences because he didn't have that privilege. He attended Trinity College where he met the love of his life, Kelley Corten. After spending a year together, both Kelley and Tony married in Carson City, Nevada. After their marriage in 1990, Mr. Corten went back to the UK, and 6 months later his wife followed. In 2010, he agreed with his wife to move to Pacifica. He later became a teacher at Ortega Elementary after volunteering for a while. Years later, he entered his current position as vice principal of Sunset Ridge Elementary. Nowadays, he can't go anywhere without people recognizing him. Mr. Corten is passionate about equity in education and has plugged himself right into the community in order for kids to strive for the stars. He believes that every child should have an equal opportunity at learning, growing, and having a fulfilling future. PCT is proud to recognize Tony Corten as a 2023 honoree.
All right, Tony, it's your turn. Come on up here, brother.
I'm Tony. I'm the less attractive Corten, you may notice. I like how when I got this award for being an educator, they gave me homework, so I've written a speech. But I'm just going to say, keep it brief because we're right at the end. I'm really honored to be a part of this community. When we discovered this, we discovered Pacifica by accident. We were checking out the Bay Area when we emigrated from the UK. And Judy, my mother-in-law, said, you should check out Pacifica. We saw it, this little name on a AAA map, and we checked it out. And just like Mary Ellen, we came down the Sharp Park Road, and we just fell in love with this place, and we love Pacifica. And so I was already a teacher in the UK, so naturally I wanted to teach in Pacifica. And I feel like I'm among amazing people tonight. And that's kind of the job that I do. I'm a vice principal at Sunset Ridge, and I worked at Ortega, but I'm only good at my job because of the people I work with and the people I depend on. The Pacifica community, the Pacifica School District, who have helped me, the amazing families I've worked with over the last 15 years in Pacifica, the PTOs, the two PTOs at Ortega and the current one at Sunset Ridge, led by Bridget and Rebecca. Of course, my fellow colleagues who are all about this high, the kids, they just make me laugh. They make me mad sometimes, but most of the time they make me laugh. I say to my family, I don't have the Mondays anymore. I'm always looking forward to going to work every day. I just want to thank Ortega and Sunset Ridge, Ellie and Janine and all the staff at Sunset Ridge I work with. They make me excited to come to work. I want to thank Dawn and Judy, who came with us tonight for the free Chinese food. And of course, most of all, I want to thank Kelley, who is just the most amazing human being I've ever met and will ever meet. She's very hard on herself, but she really does make people's lives better. And I want to dedicate this award to Kelley. She's amazing. And also, finally, to my mum and dad, who are currently in bed because they're asleep, because they're in Wales. I want to thank them for everything. My mum always said to me, I really did hate school. I worked with fellow winner Nicole Anderson in the summer, and she was the one who told me why I ended up in education, because I hated school so much. I really did not enjoy school. So she told me, that's why you're doing this job, because you don't want other kids to feel the way you do. And that's it. I want kids to feel excited to come to school. And yes, that's why I'm here tonight. And I just want to thank you. I want to thank PCT for the award. It's a great honor. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Oh, absolutely. We'll take a picture real quick. And then if I could, I'm going to have all y'all come back here real quick because we're going to say a few words. Come on in here, guys. I'm going to put you guys in the frame here. So this is that part of the evening where we get to say goodnight, and I hope for you, as it did for me, it comes too soon. Because the truth of the matter is that as a media and technology center, we are your community media center. And that means all of us, both all of you, and again, our wonderful interns. And by the way, if I missed a couple of names, I just want to say thank you to all of our wonderful staff, all of our wonderful interns, our wonderful board, who have all come together to really make this thing a possibility. And here's to 45 more years, and here's to all of you. Thank you so much, and good night. Thank you again. You guys are so much appreciated. Feel free to take anything